Reform Parliament, number 9. A Reform Parliament would leave the civil list and the Crown's lands as they are called in the present state. In this time of public distress, a Reform Parliament would think it reasonable and indeed necessary that the civil list should be greatly reduced. The enormous sums now swallowed up under the name almost surpasses belief. We see that the President of the United States of America, who is the Chief Magistrate of a people equal in number to the people of England and Wales, including Scotland perhaps, whose country has a quantity of trade and commerce not much less than this country has, and who was able single-handed to carry on a successful war against the undivided power of England. That Chief Magistrate, a man chosen for his wisdom, experience and the great talents, has no more allowed him than £6,000 a year. Yet America is well governed, and so well governed and so have the other people that there is no misery in the land, and there are not as many crimes committed there in a year as are committed in England and Wales in 1 week, or perhaps 1 day. To what are we to ascribe a difference so disgraceful to us? Shall we hear it asserted that we are the naturally a murdering and robbing race? If our government were to do this, it would not answer its purpose, for the Americans are of the same race. But we reject with indignation the unjust idea. We are naturally and honest and as kind as the Americans are. It is our misery, and that alone, which produces such a mass of crimes in England compared to what is committed in America. And this misery arises, as everyone now sees, from the pressure of taxation, which forces men into lists of paupers and beggars. When a man becomes a pauper or a beggar, when want is continually staring him in the face, when hunger gnaws his stomach and cold pinches his limbs, when the present sufferings are merely a foretaster of that which awaits him in later life, when hope ceases to linger in his bosom, then comes despair, and with the remaining energies of his mind and body he seizes by force or by fraud on that which he cannot obtain by labour. This is the beginning of crime, and here we have the true and only cause of the difference between us and the Americans in this respect. The President's £6,000 a year is an example worthy of imitation in England, especially in this season of horrible distress. The hirelings of the press tell us that we have secured our constitution by the sacrifices we have made. You know, and the people now see what they have secured. But be this as it may, if it be acknowledged that we have made sacrifices, let us ask what sacrifices the royal family, the judges, the policemen, the singular men, the pensions ladies and the police justices and others have made. Their incomes have been augmented during the whole of this long season of sacrifices. It is now acknowledged even by the very hirelings themselves, even by the most corrupt of prints, the Times newspaper, which was conceived in sin and brought forth in iniquity, and which has never belied its origin. Even by this vile hireling it is now acknowledged that great general distress prevails. Well then, will none of those who wallow in luxury, out of means derived from the public purse, do anything in the way of making sacrifices? Surely the civil list, which has had so many hundreds of thousands added to it during the season of people's sacrifices, ought to now be greatly reduced. If each of the junior branches of the royal family were allowed as much as the President of the United States is allowed, and if the King were allowed 10 times as much, this surely would be enough. It would be time early enough to talk of splendour, when the nation shall again be relieved from its distresses, and when the number of paupers shall have diminished. It will be time enough to have grand dinners and strumpers' fetes. Besides, the President governs America very well without any splendour at all. No country upon earth is so well governed. In no country are there so many breaches of few breaches of the peace. In no country is the law so implicitly and cheerfully obeyed. Why then need our royal family be so anxious to secure the means of living in splendour? Splendour may serve to dazzle slaves, but it can never be an object of respect with free men. William Cobbett, 1816.